Hello, welcome back. It's day 4 of week 2. So today we're talking about breathing, and what we're going to be doing is pulling that together with the other 2 principles, alignment and flow. So without further ado, let's go straight into the exercises, and we'll start in 4-point kneeling. So an easy one to check the alignment. I want to make sure that you're not sunk too far into your back, that your neck is long, your shoulders are nice and solid, you're not sinking through those, and your core is engaged. You've got a right angle as much as you can at the hips. Your hands are underneath your shoulders. From this, we're going to go straight into cat and warm that up. Now, we know with breathing, we want to breathe out to create space in front of the body. Take a deep breath in, exhale. Let's roll out through the bottom of the spine, lift the belly button. Start to lift up through the rest of the back, coming through the shoulders, and end with the head, and pull through with the glutes, come back into that aligned position. Exhaling to move again. Inhale to come back, and let's keep going. So you can see our dynamic alignment, that sequential movement of the spine is much improved with a better, more even curve by making that space in front of the body. Keeping it nice and slow allows us to ensure that we're moving each part of the spine throughout the entire movement. And we're also using our pelvis to take the spine out of alignment into flexion in the lower back, and then by widening the shoulder blades, lifting through the stomach, we're actually lifting up the ribs to take the mid-spine out of alignment, and then when the skull drops, the neck is coming out of alignment. And just one more. And there we go. So we can also use breathing to maintain the alignment. And we're going to go into our tabletop position. So let's extend one leg away and then exhale to lift the leg and arm. Inhale to come back, exhale to prepare. Inhale here and exhale to lift. Now, the reason why we're exhaling here, inhaling to keep a stable spine, then exhaling, is because we want to engage our abdominals as much as we can at the greatest point of exertion, when our leg is coming up and our arm is coming up. So we need those abdominals turned on, and that means we've got to empty out our lungs to get as much abdominal engagement as we can. And last one. And then let's come into a lying down position. So on your back, feet are hip width and parallel, your knees are bent, and just roll yourself down into the start position. Pelvis, ribcage and head heavy into the mat. Now we're going back to the old hip rolls because again breathing and alignment are so important here. We're going to roll to one side, and as we're doing it, we're going to inhale. And the reason why we're doing this, we want to fill that cavity in the body with as much pressure as possible to maintain the alignment. Now, We have to be careful here because it's also lifting the rib cage. So it's really important that's wide into the rib cage so that it doesn't bend out the back. You'll also notice that we're exhaling. So we can engage those abdominals to pull those legs back. But as you already know, we have a second breathing on this. That's a very good breathing when you are in pain. Now, what if we want to increase our flexibility and go a little bit further and also keep our shoulders down, keep that rib cage down? Well, we can reverse the breathing on this one. So let's exhale, roll the knees over. Now you'll find you can roll much further and get more of a stretch. This is a good breathing to do, but inhale to bring them back. This is a good breathing to do on this one. If you have no pain, or you've worked out of the pain with the reversed first set of breathing of inhale and exhale, and you can then move to an exhale, inhale breathing to really increase your range of motion and that stretch through the hip and the back. And next, we want to work on breathing for forward flexion. So I want you to interlace your hands behind your head. And here we're going to use breathing to help alignment in a curl up. So we're going forward again, so we need to empty our body of air as we're curling up. But what it's also doing, it's allowing us full abdominal engagement. And we can use that full abdominal engagement to stop the pelvis from moving. So if you're curling up and you'll find you're tucking your pelvis, you're curling your pelvis forward, then the full abdominal engagement will allow you to hold that pelvis down, press into the mat through the back of the pelvis to make sure that the movement is entirely isolated up to the top of the body and the muscles get the opportunity to work in their entirety. So it makes it a little harder, but it means that you're doing it properly. And last one. And then bring your hands down the side. So we're also going to use breathing to help us hold the curl up. So to hold this alignment, let's bring the legs up into double knee fold and exhale, coming into the curl up and floating your hands out to the side. Now what we're going to do is bring those hands to the side of the knee, and you're going to extend one leg away and pull the other knee forward, and then bring them back and extend the other leg away and pull the knee towards you and then bring them back. As you're doing this, I want you to exhale at this point and inhale to bring them back. Exhale and inhale. Now that helps the alignment because we're turning on the abdominals on the exhale, and the increased oxygen on the inhale steadies the body, provides a very stable base for you to keep that alignment when the knees are in. And then bring those down. Come out of the curl up, keep the legs up, and just relax for a little bit. Okay, we're going to move on to a harder exercise and again use breathing to maintain the alignment. So, right angle at the knees. I want you to exhale and curl up, float the arms. And this time we're going to use this curl up to protect the lower back. With it curled, it won't lift the spine away from the movement. Our movement is to move from the hips with that right angle behind the knees, tap the toes and bring it up. So exhale here and inhale on the way back. Increased abdominal strength, increased pressure for stability. And the abdominals are actually moving the spine slightly up that way, so it's not bending the opposite direction, middle of the spine coming up to the ceiling. So again, breathing helps our alignment. And then bring the head down, bring the feet down. And come onto side lying. We're going to go into this oyster position with the legs in a diamond. The heels are in line with the spine. And you can either lie down like this, or you can come onto your elbows to make it a little bit harder. Now, we're doing this one because basically breathing matters a lot less. And the reason why I'm doing this one today, just raise that up and then down and raise up, is because this is actually where your diaphragm and your pelvic floor come into play. So there's less action with the lungs, but you do want some breathing rhythm with the movement here because you want to engage this pelvic floor to keep the pelvis nice and stable and pointing forward rather than rolling back with the movement. So if we inhale, then the diaphragm comes down, the pelvic floor is in more of an action, and it stabilizes that pelvis. Exhale, and everything releases a lot more. And so this time we're using the internal pressure of the diaphragm from breathing to engage that pelvic floor, create pressure lower down in the body around the lower back and within the pelvic chamber itself. One more. And let's come on to the other side. So again, choose whether you're on the shoulder or a little bit harder, you're on your elbow. If you are on your elbow, try not to sink into the shoulder blades. Heels together and breathing in to lift and out. And keep that pelvis forward for the motion. One more. And then let's roll onto our front. So feet are slightly wider than hip width. We're going to go into cobra. So elbows are away from the shoulder. Arms down. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Make sure everything's heavy. Tighten through the abdominals and then inhale as you lift up. Now what's happening here from an alignment point of view that the breathing is helping? So the ribs are coming out, and because of the head motion, the ribs are helping bend that back. The ribs are helping bend that back by lifting And then straightening it again as you come back down. And one more. And then I want you to bring your forehead to your hands and bend your left knee. Again, we're going to use our breathing for alignment. The exercise is to flex at the ankle and lift the knee off the mat. So what I want you to do is breathe in when you lift and breathe out as you come down. Now, the reason why we do that is because I want to fill the chamber of the body so that this movement doesn't come into your lower back. This movement is about strengthening up the glutes in an inner range movement, making sure it's engaged, and also keeping the pelvis and the lower back stable when that movement occurs. So coming into a hip extension with a stable body. Inhaling. Fills the chamber and stabilizes the body. If you haven't changed size, remember to change size. One more. And then bring that down. And I want you to come back into a rest position and curl out your back. And this is just to bend it the other way after being in the extension, a nice way to loosen up. So that's today's video. You can see how all of that comes together. We're going to spend the rest of the week working on that breathing and alignment and making sure we're working to the length of the breath for each part of that repetition to make sure we maintain the slow principle. Thank you very much for joining me. See you tomorrow. Bye.